Namaste means greeting in Hindu, which is the primary language of Trinidad. That's what we chose to do our project on. My name's Jeanette. We'll have Sarah, Rebecca, and Lanisa joining us during this project. I'm going to start off with a little bit of history. Here's a picture of 1890 of the Port of Spain, which is the major trade center for Trinidad. And the picture now, it's pretty built up. Buildings are going on, not too much different from what we've got here. The first settlers to come over were Ameri Indians. They inhabited Trinidad and Tobago. The two little islands are connected together in the Caribbean. They inhabited way before Christopher Columbus, probably about 300 years. And as Christopher Columbus came over, the European settlers joined, and a lot of the original Ameri Indian bloodline was wiped out after that happened. After that, there was many transitions between Spain, France, Britain, where countries took over provenance and fought over ownership of the two little islands. Later on, the main influences were French traditional languages, things like that. They finally, in 1962, were able to gather their own independence, and they actually have a name for their independence, and it's called Carnival, which they celebrate once a week.
Okay, now this is part of the geography. It shows you where Port of Spain is, San Fernando, which is another major city. It's about 116 square miles, which is about the size of Delaware. And their motto is, "Together we aspire, together we achieve." Now for Carnival, it's basically a celebration of their independence, like Jeanette mentioned. It comes from the Latin phrase "carne vale," and it's just basically a gathering of family, friends, neighbors, anyone you want. And what it is, they cook, they have big feasts. Like there's this thing called black pudding, and it's like kind of like a sausage, but it's made with blood and all this stuff, and people really eat it. But it's really good. When they celebrate Carnival pretty much the weekend before Lent, which is it's traditional to do it that way, and they have costumes like crazy. They actually make them themselves, which is really cool. Feathers, the whole works. It's beautiful. And these are just a couple of the pictures. You can see where the feathers take place. They actually barely wear any clothes. Well, I'm not sure because whether it's hot or whether that's just how it is, but it's actually down on the streets and everywhere, and it's just beautiful. That's steel pan, and it's kind of like a drum, but it has like a metal rhythm to it. And to present today, we have a couple costumes and a little bit of music that goes along with it. So here they are. And that was just a little thing of what they do. Isn't it beautiful? Okay. Anyways, we have famous food dishes. Now, a lot of this stuff they eat all the time. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. It ranges from roti, which is kind of like a fried dough or bread, if you will. And then it goes down to the fruits like mangoes and all that stuff. This is the type of food that they eat. They can eat it for breakfast, or it's actually made for lunch and dinner. so it doesn't really matter. But it has saltfish in it, codfish, onions, anything that mixes well with this, and you can eat it with cheese, butter, whatever you like. This is another type of food for lunch, but it can also be served for dinner. Lunch and dinner are kind of combined, and it's just a mixture of everything. In this right now, I think there's goat. It's like curry goat, and it's all wrapped together in like a roti, but it's called dalpuri, which means it has dal in it, which is kind of like a small little bean type of thing, and they mash it up and they make it into this roti. And then the food dish we were supposed to bring is called pilau, which is a combination of rice, vegetables, stewed chicken, corn, carrots, anything that deals with any type of protein needs. And this is just basically the nutritional value for that.
Trinidadians prepare their food with a lot of high fiber, high fat, and high sugars. And because of the way they prepare their foods, they can get a lot of chronic diseases and cultural diseases like that. In the following slide, we'll talk about some of these diseases that the people from Trinidad and Tobago can get. Things like diabetes, hypertension, coronary heart disease, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and obesity are the ones that they can get nutritionally, but we decided to add AIDS because it is one of the highest AIDS rates in the world in Trinidad and Tobago.
This culture tries to self-medicate. They would rather use herbal remedies and homeopathic medicine. Like Lanisa told us about her mom using camphor oil. She cooks it and it's comparable to like a Vicks Vapor Rub, but a little stronger. When the patient would be in the hospital, you would want to incorporate the family into patient care and always explain all the procedures thoroughly. These are some of our references. And thank you for watching our project on Trinidad and Tobago.